Hola a todos y bienvenidos a Objetivo Español. Today we are doing two questions of the AQA GCSE Spanish Reading Paper, Foundation Tier. Additionally, we are going to revise time expressions and key vocabulary that will help you to identify the right answer. As in my previous videos, I will read the text out loud, and after the question, you will be able to mark your answers. I hope you find it useful and improve your level of Spanish for your GCSE exam. ¿Estás preparado? ¿Estás preparada? Empezamos. Let's start by reviewing time expressions. You need to know them to be able to locate the actions and the situations they mention in the right time frame. That is, if they refer to the past, present, and future. ¿Cuántas expresiones temporales conoces? How many time expressions do you know? ¿Cómo se dice yesterday en español? Muy bien, ayer. ¿Y cómo se dice last night? Genial, se dice anoche. ¿Y cómo se dice last week, last month, last year? Estupendo, se dice la semana pasada, el mes pasado y el año pasado. ¿Y cómo se dice 2 years ago? Muy bien, se dice hace 2 años. Remember that hace has different meanings and one of them is ago. Y esto es muy importante, cómo se dice before and now. Genial, se dice antes y ahora. Let's move on into the present. ¿Cómo se dice today, in this moment? Genial, se dice hoy y en este momento. You also need to know time expressions that refer to the future. ¿Cómo se dice tomorrow? Genial, se dice mañana. Y más difícil todavía, ¿cómo se dice the day after tomorrow? Yes, you're right. This is a false trend. We say pasado mañana. ¿Y cómo decimos the next day? Muy bien, decimos al día siguiente. ¿Y cómo se dice next week? Here we've got two options to say the same thing. Excelente. We say la semana próxima o la semana que viene. The following week. ¿Y cómo decimos next month? Muy bien. Decimos el mes próximo o el mes que viene. Por último, lastly, ¿cómo se dice within a week? Genial. Decimos dentro de una semana. In this question, you will read the email from your Spanish friend Pepe, who will explain the fundraising activities organized by his school. You need to identify when the following activities take place: the non-uniform day, the cake sale, the car washing or the sponsored walk. Mi colegio organiza muchas actividades solidarias. Hoy es un día especial porque todos los alumnos dan 5 euros por no llevar uniforme. En la venta de pasteles que hicimos hace un mes conseguimos mucho dinero. Para algunos estudiantes de bachillerato, lavar coches fue un éxito total. Otros buscan donaciones porque van a caminar 20 kilómetros en un día de la semana que viene. Let's have a look at the answers now. The non-uniform day is today, hoy. Therefore, the answer is N. The cake sale, la venta de pasteles, was organized hace un mes, a month ago. Here you have a double clue because you also have hicimos, which means we did, from the verb hacer. The car washing is probably the hardest question because you need to know the past tense of ser, fue, it was. And the answer is past, P. Finally, the walk will take place one day next week, and the answer is F. On your vocabulary list, you need to have these non-negotiables. On the one hand, buscar, por ejemplo, buscar en línea o buscar online. And from that, we have la búsqueda, the search. And on the other hand, we have comprar, to buy, or vender, to sell. From those, we have la compra, the purchase, or la venta, the sale. In this question, you're going to read an advert about new smartphones, and you must answer the following questions. What do elderly people sometimes say about technology? What is special about the numbers on these new smartphones? And what is the advantage of the battery on these new smartphones? Una compañía telefónica ofrece unos móviles inteligentes nuevos que son cómodos de usar. Están pensados para los mayores que a veces dicen que la tecnología es imposible de entender. Estos teléfonos cuentan con números fáciles de leer. Entre sus muchas ventajas, tienen una batería que es rápida de recargar, además de un volumen extra alto. In this type of questions, you must always follow the example and answer with a phrase rather than a single word. You would not get the marks if you just wrote impossible, easy, or fast. For part 1, the correct answer is impossible to understand, imposible de entender. However, the mark scheme was expanded to allow figure out or work out as alternatives to understand. For part 2, the answer was easy to see, fáciles de ver, and the mark scheme was again expanded to include watch as well as see, although it did not make much sense to watch the numbers on a smartphone in English. Finally, the last answer is quick to charge, rápida de recargar. Before we finish, I would like you to memorize ventajas, advantages, and desventajas o inconvenientes, disadvantages. These are frequently tested words that appear in the GCSE exam. Did you find this video helpful? How many words and time expressions can you remember now?